Hey there, everybody. This is Mike with Soundstage EDU, and we're just on it today. We're going to just keep this fire going. Kind of like it. So today, we're going to talk about one of my most favorite phrases in booster culture. Let's go something like this. We just help the director with whatever they need. Cool. Awesome. I love that. As someone who's sat in those shoes, I love to know that there's a group of people that want to help me. Also, need I point out that this is exactly how you end up with a U-Haul stuck under a bridge and nobody knows who's responsible for the damage. So yeah, that's where we're going today. Because what sounds like support, what feels like teamwork, I get that, is actually, y'all are going to hate this. You're going to get mad at me. You're going to say I'm pretentious again. But that's fine. But when we don't have guardrails around this actually is one of the biggest reasons that programs fall apart. So let's dig in a little bit more. I came across a thread today, and honestly, it's not unique. It's really not. I see versions of this every single day. Sometimes they land in my inbox. Sometimes they land in my DMs. Sometimes they come across on my text messages, which, by the way, y'all can use. That number is 913-353-6141. Just send it a text message, like a normal number. It's a Google Voice phone. I might not answer it if you call it because I'm just that busy, but you can send a text message and it lets me come back to those and read them. But that number, 913-353-6141, is there for you guys to use. But the thread that came across, this is what it does. Someone said boosters and directors need clearly defined roles. Right? Y'all have heard me say that ad nauseum. And then another person chimes in, well, we just help our directors because they're overwhelmed. I get that. And I guarantee you the person who started this thread gets that too, because he was one. And then someone else pushes back. Then suddenly we're talking about a U-Haul hitting a bridge. It's an episode that I did a couple episodes back. It was called the Debit Card Nightmare or something like that. Maybe Debit Card Disaster. Anyway, has debit card in it. So that was about the U-Haul truck. And then, buried in the comments, someone else says, our director is removing board members who question spending. I stopped. Because that right there, my friends, that's the thing. Right there. That is the whole story. That is the root of the issue. Because everyone in this thread is arguing about helping, and this is likely what's going on in programs around the country. Everyone's arguing about helping, but nobody is standing up and defining authority. There is authority here that needs to be seen and recognized and respected. So let me give you the line here that matters. Helping is not the problem. Undefined authority is the problem. I want you to really sit with that in this moment, because most programs don't implode because people are lazy or they don't understand or they're selfish, they don't care. They implode because good people are trying to help inside of a system that was never clearly defined. So let's clear something up right now. Some of y'all are not going to like this, but it needs to be said. And if there's one thing I've learned operating in this space now for the past year, is that sometimes I feel like I am the only one that will say these things out loud like this. There are people that will say them in the comments. But I would gladly proudly stand on a platform and say these things out loud. So we're going to do that today. Boosters are not staff. They are not assistants. They are not employees. They're not there to take direction in the way that people think. In most cases, they are a separate nonprofit organization, which means they don't work for the director. They exist to support the program and protect it. And those are two very different things. So I'm going to say something else that might make you guys a little bit uncomfortable, but again, it needs to be said clearly. And this may feel like I'm calling some of you out, and maybe I am, in a roundabout way. And there may be a person who recognizes immediately which post I'm referring to for this episode. I already told someone that I was creating this episode around that post. But some of the respondents may recognize this and think that I'm talking about them. But listen, I'm not. The reason I was moved to record something about this is because I see this over and over again. So many times. It's not unique. But if your director has unrestricted access to the booster checkbook or the debit card, you don't have a booster organization. You have a pass-through account. And I need you to understand that that is not governance. That is not protection of the program like you guys set up your mission to be. That's risk. And look, man, I don't care how great your director is. I don't care how good of a person he is. Because good people plus bad structure will equal broken programs, broken policies, broken procedures, broken compliance every time. I've seen it. I don't need to spell it out for you guys. I have seen it. So let's define help, because this is where everything gets blurry. There are 3 levels of help in a program. Your first level of help is safe help. This is what everyone thinks that we're talking about. Chaperoning trips, moving equipment, running events, supporting logistics. No authority, no decision-making, just execution. This is healthy. This is what's needed. And this is actually a beautiful thing. The next level of help is our controlled help. And this is where we need clarity from the director. Volunteer coordination. Inventory management. Assisting with planning. Assisting with planning. Now we're getting closer to structure. And this is fine if roles are clearly defined here. Does that make sense? Now I understand some people do go rogue. But if you have good governance in place, you can control that and help mitigate it to some extent. Now our next level of help is dangerous help. Because this is where programs start to crack. Directors using booster debit cards, directors having access to the accounts. Financial decisions happening outside of the board. And board members being removed for asking questions. That's not help anymore. That's a breakdown of governance, because there's governance policy, there's governance procedure for removing a person. And if a director is just removing a person because they don't like them or they don't like that they're coming against their decisions, we have lost control of governance. And without governance, you have no structure. And without structure, you have no organization. You have a compliance risk. So let's go back to the U-Haul story just for a second, because honestly. The truck hitting the bridge, that's not the story. It's part of it. The story is the U-Haul didn't hit the bridge because someone was helping. It hit the bridge because nobody defined who was responsible. No policy, no structure, no accountability. That's what actually caused the damage. Yes, I know the truck hit the bridge, caused the damage, but what caused the structural damage to the group was the fact that there was no policy in place. It shouldn't have happened. And then we get to the part that actually concerns me. The comment about a director controlling spending, removing board members, having full access to the funds. That's not a gray area. That's not helping. That's a controlled environment. And I need to say this clearly. Boosters are not there to serve the director. Directors, are you listening to me? Because I need you to hear this. I'm not going to put you guys up on some pedestal because you're a director. You're out there with a mission just like the rest of us. And your boosters are not there to serve you. And I bet I just made a bunch of you mad. And you probably just stopped right now. Don't follow that guy. They're not there to serve you. The boosters are there to protect the program. That includes the students, the finances, the long-term sustainability, even if that means asking uncomfortable questions. And look, I know why this happens. I absolutely know why this happens. It's not a mystery to me. Probably not a mystery to you guys either if you just dig in and really think about it. But why does this happen? It's quite simple. Because people care. They do. Parents care. You're human. We care about one another, even when we don't like one another. We care about your well-being. Directors are overwhelmed. Everyone's trying so hard to hold things together, but caring without structure creates chaos. And I've seen too many friendships destroyed, too many programs fractured over these things because nobody defined the line. Now I want to say something directly to you, because if you're still here listening, you're not the problem. You're not. You're the person trying to figure this out. And here's the reality. We can fix this. We can do it quickly. But only if people stop being afraid to plug in and admit that you need help. So if this episode made something click for you, if you've seen this in your own program, I need you to do 3 things. Follow this podcast. Share this episode with your booster board. Shoot, listen to it with them. And start having a conversation before next season hits. Because it's coming quick. Because the longer we avoid this, the harder it's going to get to fix. And I'm going to be very real with you for a second. Everything that we're building here with Soundstage EDU, it's designed to solve these types of problems. Not with fluff, not with feel-good statements. I made that clear here today. But with actual clarity. Tools, structure, guidance when things get messy. And if you want to support this work, if you want to help this grow so more programs don't end up in crisis, the easiest way to do that right now is simple. Follow, engage, share the content, bring people into this space. Because this does not work if it stays small. This works when the right people, like you, Start pulling others into it. Helping is powerful. It really is. And I love to see the energy from the folks out there that are wanting to step in and help their programs and help their directors and help the humans. It's the whole reason this started. But helping without boundaries is how our programs break. Define the rules. Protect the structure. And then go help like crazy. I'll see you in the next one. Can't wait to have you guys back.